So I want to say to you, God bless you and good morning. And I welcome you to Sunday worship on Christmas morning. I know some say, well, why do you come to church on Christmas? And I say, wow, the question is an oxymoron.
Right.
Because the very word Christ, it says Christ, man. The very day you come to worship Him is the day we say, well, that's my time. When did we get so selfish on the day we chose to give Him glory? When did we make it about presents and gifts and parties and what you're going to get in return for what you gave? That's the whole thing. He was a gift. And a gift is just that. It is a gift. I just want to talk a little while. I'm not going to have us here very long, but if you don't mind, let me just share out of my heart. There's so much that I have to say concerning Him and this time that we could stay a while, but I just want to share a little bit about what I know about this time. But they didn't know who he was. From the beginning of time, God promised when man sinned that He would send a deliverer. He said, you messed up because you did like I told you not to. And even though you promised, you said you wouldn't, and you did, I'm still going to give you grace. And I'm going to send you the very one who you rejected. And so, after the first disobedience, the first murder, the antediluvian time when demons came and married with humans and giants, when the times of Cain, when evil people arose, and He says, I'm going to wipe away the earth and everything in it, and then He sent them on a boat trip. The very first time that it rained. The very ark itself was a representation of the one who was to come. He says, one of these days I'm going to send you somebody. And if you just run into this ark of safety, I'll save you. And even only a few of them recognized who He was. And so the line of Shem brought Abraham. And then 42 generations later, after the Great War, after the Sumerians, the Babylonians, and later the Syrians, then there rose up one, a European, Alexander the Great. And God was working His plan. Do you ever know that sometimes you feel like that it's not working out for you, but all over on this side He's working something, and if you just wait a while, it'll come your way? And as debaucherous as Alexander the Great was, the idea that was given was to unite a world under one language. And so they conquered and they fought and they conquered the known civilized world to give them Hellenism, a culture and a language that everybody could understand. From Africa all the way to Europe, there was one people. And then the Romans came. And they said, well, we'll bring it a step further and we'll give them laws and we'll give them more civilization. And what we'll do is we'll put roads that'll take us from Rome to every part of the world. And all the while, the time is clicking because the promise of the deliverer was yet to come. Are y'all following me? And so Alexander the Great thought he was trying to be such a great guy, and though he did what he did, and all of Caesar and the Gallic Wars, were all going to fit the purpose of the Lord. Because in the process of time, God sent his son, born of a woman, when there was a language that all could understand, and roads that everyone could get to every place, because you needed to spread the gospel. And without this time, you ever know that the reason that you are here, the very reason that you were born, was evidence that your purpose is necessary, because you came in such a time as this. And so when it was time, he promised that he would come through kings. But he laid a few scandalous people along the way in his lineage. Folks like Bathsheba, the adulteress with David. Folks like Rahab. Folks like Ruth. You know, Ruth was the great-great-great-great-grandmother of David. But he said he would be a king, and he would come from the line of kings. And so from both sides, both Elizabeth and his legal father, Joseph, came the right to sit on the throne of David. Are y'all following me? Yes. He raised up a people with a word and a promise. I want you to know that God is raising up a people with a word and a promise. And I don't care where you are, whatever time he's raised up a people. Say, I'm a people. I have a word and a promise. And the promise was that he was going to send this son, this deliverer. And so he sent it through to Mary. She was a virgin. She had not been with a man. And it was so devastating to her that she found herself pregnant, although she received it, that she ran to her cousin out of the country because it was odd for somebody to be pregnant. And when she got there to Elizabeth's house, Elizabeth being old and barren all her young years, the baby on the inside of her leaped and gave praise. And the same one would be the prophet who would preach his coming. And when she got enough courage, affirmation, and confirmation, she went back and told Joseph. And the baby wasn't his. You remember last week. It was a scandalous thing. But he chose